Hello, back again to do another unboxing and review. This time around, it's something from dreamGEAR. It is the Universal Elite, and that is actually a universal amplified wired gaming headset. Alright, so dreamGEAR. I can't say that I've ever had any products from them, so I have no familiarity with the brand. However, looking at the specs that are listed on the box, which we'll be looking at here in just a second, and also being able to view the item, again, this box opens up in a way that you can see the item without actually taking it out of the box. And judging by those two criteria, I thought it was worth giving this item a try. So let's look at what some of those things I just mentioned. Okay, so it says it's universal. I mean, just on the box here, I see universal written once, twice, 3 times. Okay, so, but in case that wasn't enough, it kind of gives you some things that you could possibly use it for, or with, I should say, the PS4, the Xbox One, the PS3, and of course the personal computer. And then if you look down here, it also says that it works for mobile devices as well. Okay, so I get the universal bit. Alright. Also, there's 4 icons that they put right up on the front here. The fact that it has independent game and chat sounds. And you'll see there's a box you can control all that on. And then it says that it has crisp amplified audio. It has a mute switch and also volume controls. And we'll go around the side here. Some of these icons we've already seen, but this one is new. It says high performance microphone, and also that it has a 15-foot cable length. Alright, and then some of the things it includes here, it includes the Elite wired headset, the control box with gaming cables, pass-through RCA cable, USB extender, Xbox 360 cable, PS4/Xbox One cable, and a user guide. So they're giving you quite a lot in this box. So that's definitely a plus. Okay, so then on the back, you get to see what that control box looks like. Of course, we'll see it again. There's this little note here in the middle, and it's saying that you can connect directly to the new Xbox One and the DualShock 4 controllers for obviously the PlayStation when using the Universal Elite headset. With an older Xbox One, you have to get this Microsoft Stereo headset adapter is required, which isn't included here, and I assume it looks like that thing there. So, alright, but assuming that you have a newer Xbox One or a PS4 or a computer or pretty much anything other than those older ones, you should have everything you need in this box, and from the list we already read. Okay. And then some more stuff that we pretty much... And then on the back here, it lists a few more devices. We have the Wii U, Nintendo handhelds, PS Vita, alright, universal for sure, I guess. Alright, and then on the side, you just got a kind of picture. Okay, but let's go ahead and look at it. And talking about this, being able to see it before actually taking it out of the box, I really like items that have this feature, and this one, in fact, does. And of course, it tells you there to lift right here, so you can go ahead and do that. And you may hear it has magnetic closure. So pretty impressive packaging, especially at this price point, which can vary. But anyway, so here we go. They give you a wiring diagram, kind of, to show you how you would hook it up, kind of a quick guide. Okay, so evidently you can just plug it straight into your mobile device, or you can go this route and plug it into your game console, and also this one to plug it into your TVs with some pass-through RCA plugs. So, alright, and seems to be quite a bit of hardware packed in this box, and now without further ado, let's get inside. Okay, so I just got done taking off all the sticker closures from just the top of the box here, and there were 4 of them. So they were making darn sure this thing would not open easily. So anyway, once you remove those from the top of the box, got a little pull-out tab here. Retail hanger is on the top portion of the box. Okay, and then looks like we have a plastic tray, which I like because it's easy to take everything out in one swoop here, one grab. Okay, just make sure there's nothing else in there. Nope. So it all comes out on this tray. Okay, so as you may guess, within the back of this portion of the box behind the headphones, you have quite a bit of hardware that falls out. Here you got this big mass of wires, but then of course you have the actual unit itself right there, and also manual user guide. So just quickly thumb through it, talking about how to set it up with the PS4, the PlayStation 3, or the 360. Okay, well, that's good. So yeah, it looks pretty easy to read, big text, multicolored. So okay, now let's look at some of the hardware that came out here. So this was all grouped in one bag, is this. So, whoa, okay, well, let's look what we have here. This is the USB extension. So you have a female portion and then the male, so to extend your USB port, which is always handy, so you don't have to reach all the way to the back of your tower or whatever setup you may have. So that's cool. Then we have three more things here. We have this, looks like a 3.5 millimeter. Well, hold on. Oh, okay. So this looks like 3.5 millimeter, and then also the smaller diameter one, so I'm gonna guess that's for what, computer microphone, or maybe to plug into a controller. Okay, and then on this one, whoa. Okay, there's even more. All right, there's this cable, which, let's see what this one looks like. These look like both 3.5 millimeter. One is dual band, has the double bands, and one has a single. So, okay. And then there's this. These, of course, is the RCA. You can see inline RCA plugs. So even when these are plugged in, you still don't lose that port, because you can plug something yet into the back of that. And then this must be where, okay, and then this connects. Alright, so there we go. So two RCA male, and then this is female, looks like 3.5 millimeter. Right. Wow, that's a lot of cables, and we're not even done yet. Okay, now here's yet another cable. This one is actually attached to the headphones, kind of sealed off in this little bag. So we'll open up this little pouch here. Okay, more cables. Alright, actually, you can see that they're going to two different things here. So we'll start with the big massive wire here, which has 3.5 millimeter jack and USB male. And that all goes to this. Pop it out here. Okay, that goes to this the control box here. So that's one deal. And well, since we have the control box out, let's look at it. So okay, dreamGEAR. Here's where, judging by the icon, you plug the headphones into that end, and then out from this end comes all this stuff. There's also a little port there to plug in. It looks like your controller, judging by the icons. And all right, here's the mute switch right here in the middle, and you have LED indicators. Green's power, and then mute. Red or not red must mean muted or not muted. And then you have three volume wheels. So you have a volume wheel for the PS4, Xbox One, and the 360. That's for the chat. Then the middle, you have the chat volume for the PS3 or PC. And then on the very right, you have the game volume. So, okay, two wheels for chat, one for game volume. Okay, now let's get to the actual headphones. Okay, here they are. Okay, so since we've been dealing with wires, here is your 3.5 millimeter coming out of the actual headphones. So I suppose if you just wanted to listen to your music on the go from your smartphone or your music player or whatever, you could just go out with just this and leave all this mass of wire behind. Okay, so, but now let's look at the actual headphones. Alright, you can see there's quite a bit of mobility on these things. They're kind of pivoting all over the place. I'm not saying that's bad. Just I noticed that right away. Some other sets only have limited motion, but this seems to have quite a bit more. Alright, well, look at the headband here. The headband here is beefy. So on the top we have this kind of I don't know, I would say kind of fake leathery type filling stuff up here, and it seems to be foam underneath. And then you can actually feel, if you push even through those two, you can feel there's the band. But then on the other side you have this okay, if you have like a pair of like sneakers you wear at the gym, you know that material that's right over your toes is that kind of nettish type material, nylon-y or maybe whatever, some synthetic fiber. That's exactly what this stuff is right here. And then there's foam underneath that, so you have the net, foam, band, foam, and then this fake leather stuff. So there's quite a bit of padding from either direction. All right. Now going over here to the actual earphones, the actual cups, they have similar material to this. It's just black instead of red. And then, yeah, okay. And there's quite a bit of padding there, so that's good. The stitching around the sides looks decent. Of course, we'll see how well that holds up with time and use, but so far I don't see any rogue strands or any sloppy stitch work, so that's good. Okay, now let's look at what these headphones. We'll try this one. We'll see how much they can move. So, all right. You have of course, this motion. Then you have this motion. And then you have this. And then you can all the way touch the top. So yeah, there's quite a bit of mobility, as I've already said. Now let's talk about how the joints feel. As far as material goes, everything I've touched so far is plastic, but it feels to be, well, what you'd expect. It doesn't feel cheap, but I'm not feeling any metal, at least on the surfaces that I can actually touch. So, alright, but that being said, the hinges, it seems like it would hold. I wouldn't abuse it, but it doesn't seem like it's going to fall apart on its own. And then in here, I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not, you can see the actual joint work, or perhaps you can. Try to get it in there so you can see. Okay. And then if you look real closely, you can see one of the wires that's running in alongside in this plastic channel there. So it kind of cool. Okay. Oh, let's talk about the adjusting. Okay, so simple pull out, push in, kind of the click, click, click ratcheting type deal. There doesn't appear to be any lock or release button. You don't have to push anything to do that. Okay, and it does have little perforations there to make sure you get 3 clicks or 2 clicks or whatever you need to fit your head. The sides are labeled. This here happens to be the right side, so that means the microphone will sit on the left side of your head. And well, let's look at the microphone. Okay, so the microphone obviously sticks out on the side, and then it pivots down. Okay, that's just it's pretty taut, so you just turn it and it stays wherever you leave it. This here, it's that kind of bend into place type metal, I don't know, for the lack of a better word, a kind of accordion type deal, but it also has like a coating of rubber maybe, or some kind of insulation over it, so it does have that nice feel, and it also stops things from getting in between the little joint segments that allow this thing to bend. So that's a nice touch. And then of course you have this microphone, and yes, it is squishy or foamy, whatever. Okay, so yeah, okay, and then of course dreamGEAR written up on there. So I'm just going to quickly slip these on, see if they're comfortable. Okay, so yeah, they're pretty comfortable. These are big enough that they pretty much go all the way around your ear. So they don't just sit on the side of your head, but they pretty much encompass your ear. And this feeling, they're brand new, keep in mind, right? But I just put this on here, and this really, you can feel the texture of this on your ears. Again, they're brand new, and I haven't worn them for more than like 2 seconds, but you definitely can feel this. So I'm going to assume that after a while, you stop feeling this texture that you could probably see here on camera. So I'm going to assume that's just getting used to it, but it didn't feel uncomfortable, not by any means. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do some test runs. I'm going to figure out all these cables here, and yeah, so I'll be back then. Alright, so I've had the chance to use these for now over a week, and I think I have more than enough information to give you my take on them. Before we get to that, though, I want to bring up something quite important for PC users, and it goes to my first experience using these, and I'm going to tell you so you don't have to go through the same frustration that I did. Where that frustration comes from is the way these wheels are labeled. Once you plug it into a computer, it seems to it doesn't correspond correctly to how the wheels are labeled. And what I mean by that is I was initially going to listen to watch some videos and listen to some music. And since I wasn't planning on talking to anybody at that point, I had both the chat wheels down. Now keep in mind, this one is for a system I wasn't even using because I was using a computer, and that one is for the PS4, Xbox One, and 360. So it makes sense I'd have that wheel down anyway. And of course, and this one here for the PC chat volume, again, I wasn't talking to anybody, so I had that turned down. And I have this here, which is called game volume, and I have that turned all the way up. What I could hear was not good quality at all. So prior to throwing these things away, I thought I'd just push all the buttons, kind of in a moment of frustration, and when I accidentally hit this one, the PC chat volume, all of a sudden I could hear music. And then I realized, okay, so in short, this is your volume, main volume for when you're using a computer, okay? You can have this wheel here on the left, you can have that up or down, doesn't matter. And this one here, gain volume, no matter what position this in, it doesn't matter. It all comes down to this middle wheel here. So I also, while I was doing a recording using the boom mic, I decided I'd actually mess with some of these other knobs to see if it affected what was being recorded, and it did not. So now, with that being said, let's talk about hooking it up to a computer. So you can see I have the cord coming out of the headphones, going into this little control box, and then leaving, you have this kind of rather fatter cord that terminates in two prongs here, okay? Now, this one, obviously you plug it into your USB port, and that's what's going to power this thing, all right? This one you plug into where you normally plug your headphones or your speakers, and should be easy to find because on most computers, the port is highlighted or circled in green. Kind of helps you because that's also green. So match that up, you're good. Now, you might notice, but hey, where's the mic plug? Well, that's just it. There is no plug for the microphone. And evidently is handled through here. So that's a plus. That's one less thing to plug in. Okay, so since we've been talking about microphones, why don't we go have a listen to a recording I made using this microphone right here.
Alright, so I'm testing out the microphone here. Hopefully you can hear me loud and clear.
Okay, but probably more importantly, you're wanting to know how these sound. And I can say that they actually sound decent. These apparently are more sensitive to the quality of audio that's coming out of your system, your computer, your whatever. Comparing them to like my Razer Kraken Pros, which seem to be able to make pretty good sound even if the sound quality of the source isn't great, these seem to better reflect the source quality sound. So I would recommend turning, if you're watching like a YouTube video, for example, I would make sure that the HD option is checked. And then these sound pretty good. So in conclusion, would I recommend these? I would say yeah, but it depends. So for the people I think this would work really well for would be, for example, someone who runs a gaming cafe. You could have a headset at all your many terminals, and your players/customers would have all the features they need. You would be able to connect them basically to anything with all the many options that we saw earlier with all the different cables. And if the customers did break it, which eventually that is going to happen, you could afford to replace these and not go bankrupt from just replacing peripherals, at least not the headset. So I think this would be an excellent choice for that. Also, if you're traveling and you just want to throw a gaming headset in your bag, this would be a good one. You did see how it kind of folds up, and you can roll this in here, so that would fit well in the suitcase, and you would still have a full headset when you get to the hotel or wherever you're going. So that's another good application of these. Now, for at home as your primary gaming headset, I'm going to think many people are probably going to want to go up to the likes of Turtle Beach or Razer. There's maybe Logitech, you name the brand. And because at that point, you might be worth forking over a little more cash to get more powerful drivers and all that other stuff. So I think these are good for the price point. They're more than what I was expecting, but again, you got to keep your expectations reasonable. And if you do that, I think you'll have a good run-of-the-mill headset for gaming.